Welcome Shout of the Canon. Today is the first story from Interactive Horror Stories and it's called The Crystal Skull. Before I start properly, I hope you like and subscribe. Also, you can leave the comment down below if you want. You can say your own story or you can say your experience. I don't know. I also done my own story and I probably will publish that on YouTube soon. I just need to do some small little changes. And now just started. You are a king who is loved by his people. You have a serious problem for. Your only child, Juliana, has an incredible disease and she is dying. You hear about the crystal skull which can cure illnesses and let people have visions. It is brought to your palace from the continent of America by your man warns you that the skull might be cursed. Will the crystal skull bring health to a princess or a doom? Being a king is hard, being a good king is even harder. You know this well as the sole ruler of the European kingdom in an age when America is discovered. It has been 25 years since you ascended the throne. Your subjects are content with your rule. Your country is in a peace, but the people are wealthy. But there is something wrong with your life. Your daughter Juliana is ill. She is only 18 years old and she has got an illness that nobody cured yet. Princess is dying and she is your only child, and heir to the throne. Every doctor you could find tried to cure her. You have tried almost everything. Almost. You have been informed about the miraculous artifact unearthed in the continent of America. It is a human skull made of crystal. It amazes the scholars because no method is known to carve up such of an excellent shape of the skull out of the crystal. This skull doesn't belong to the world that you know, but to ancient civilizations that has been lost. But what amazes the scholars is not just the impossible creations. The skull is thought to bring miracles to whom touches it with their bare hands. Some people tell that they saw visions from the future. Some tell that they saw how the human race has originated, and some tell that the skull can cure their illnesses, those who couldn't be cured with the medication available to the era. Naturally, you ordered your best man to bring the miraculous skull to the palace. It's midnight now. You are in Juliana's chamber. She is lying in her bed, holding your hand as you sit by her bed. No candles are lit inside. Full moon alignment. The princess' chamber is shining on her long blonde hair and blue eyes. She is too weak, her skin is pale. She has under eyes bags showing her illness. You already suffered the loss of your wife 10 years ago. Now you can't stand seeing your only daughter slowly die. Juliana asks you with a soft voice, Father, and I'm going to die. I think I'm gonna say I won't allow that. She smiles. I know, Father, you are a mighty king. I know that you will do the best by your subjects and me. The door of the chambers is knocked on. The servants generally don't disturb the royal family members at night, so it must be something important. A brunette boy, one of your servants, gets inside of the chamber with a politeness. He looks and says, Your Majesty, the artifact has been brought. You had been waiting for this moment for a long time. After you kiss Juliana's forehead and say, I will come back, she brings your hand to her pale lips and kiss it. Then when you leave Juliana alone in her chamber, at the exit of Juliana's chamber you see Sir William, one of the knights who were appointed with the task bringing ancient skull. He is a strong man with a black hair and a round of beard. He wears gloves and holds back. Your Majesty, he says, and kneels before you. Signal him to stand up. Let's go to my study chamber. Sir William follows you as you walk through the study chamber. The chamber is well lit with a silver candelabras. All the furniture are classy. It is a king's study room after all. There is only one chair. It is for you to sit on. Sir William stands by you and slowly pulls the artifacts from his bag. You push the books on the study desk to open space. The artifacts. Here it is, he says, and gently puts the crystal skull on the study desk. The skull is truly a masterpiece. If it is crafted by humans, and all details of a human skull are imprinted with a care of raw crystal. Lights coming from the candles are refracted inside the crystal, gaining various colors of a rainbow. It's magnificent, but you sense something sinister, something that doesn't belong to our world. Did you, knights, touch the skull? Yes, we did touch the skull with our bare hands, and we had visions. We took glances from our future. Some of us saw how they will die, some of us saw our grandchildren. He continues. But maybe we shouldn't have touched the skull. The day we were about to leave, a native man came to us. He looked the chief of his tribe. He knew a little of our language, but he shouted some words that we couldn't understand. Cursed, no touch. So we haven't touched the skull with our bare hands again. I know that princess needs to find a cure. I also know that we receive reliable information about the magical powers of the skull when it comes to incurable disease. But your majesty, I have got a very bad feelings about the skull. I believe that the wise decision is to throw the skull to the sea. I'm gonna try the typical dad who would want keep the daughter, and we'll see what endings here. I can't let Juliana die, she will touch the skull. The knight says, as you wish, your majesty, but if you are going to bring the skull to her, I wish you would wear the gloves. Okay, wear the gloves then. You will look for gloves around the study chamber. Sir William pulls his own gloves off. I think you wish Juliana to touch the skull as soon as possible. Let's not wait for the servants to find your gloves, he says and gives him them. You wear the gloves and hold the crystal skull with your covered hands. Let me bring the skull to Juliana. You thank Sir William for service and let him go. You carry the skull to Juliana's chamber. You enter her chamber and see that she hasn't slept yet. She rises up and sits on her bed. She looks at the skull and ow! It is look marvelous and scary, she says. You approach Juliana and let her touch the skull. As Juliana touches the skull, she closes her eyes and doesn't react to anything in external world. You understand that she is having a vision. After 10 seconds, she opens her eyes with a gasp. I saw things. I don't know how to describe them. They were pitch black creatures, so ugly. Their eyes, they were red and flames, and they all started at me. She started. Please keep this thing away from me, please. And I want to be alone. So you decided to keep the skull in your study room and let your daughter sleep. After this tiring day, you go to your chamber. There are no guards at the door. You just trust everybody in the palace. You are a loved king. The furniture are luxurious in the chamber too. You take a glance at your reflection in a mirror. And I think that's where the problem starts. Examine yourself. You take the pride in how you look. You are a middle-aged man, but you still look handsome as you were young. Looks and your looks are an important factor that makes you a charismatic leader, besides being fair and wise. You wear Your night gone and get into your bed. It is bed for two people, but you haven't slept with anyone since your wife passed away. You have a secret that you keep from everyone. Sometimes you hook the second pillow in your bed as if it was someone you love. You do it since your childhood. Nobody needs to know it. It doesn't take long for you to fall asleep. Father, you wake up to Juliana's voice. She gently holds up your shoulder. You look at her. She has a happy smile on her face. Her skin is not pale, but saturated with life. She no longer has bags under her eyes. I feel wonderful. She takes a few steps back and starts dancing. You laugh with happiness, stands up and hug her. Juliana walks in the corridors of the palace, dancing and laughing. You and the people of the palace are very happy to see her this way. She used to be like a ghost before. You plan a feast and invite all the lords of the kingdom. A few days later, every lord arrives to a capital city to celebrate the wealth of the princess. At least Juliana is the center of everybody's attention. She talks with everyone, joyfully makes jokes, makes people laugh. And when the feast is over and it's midnight, everybody goes to chambers reserved for them. You accompany Juliana to her chamber. You put the keys on her forehead before letting her sleep. Then you go to your own chamber and fall asleep in peace. You wake up to a sound of the knocking on your chamber's door. It's still night. You wonder who dared to wake you up at this hour. And you open the door, and it's the same brunette boy who had informed you about the arrival of the school. Your Majesty, I am deeply sorry for disturbing you at this hour, but there is something wrong. There are laughing sounds coming from the princess' chamber. It's her voice, but it doesn't sound normal. Let me check it. You walk to Juliana's chamber like the servant said. Hysterical laughter comes from inside. You decide to enter. You see Juliana at the balcony of her chamber facing back you. She laughs under the pale moon. You approach her and put your hand on her shoulder. She turns back to you. Her face is normal, smiling. Just when you were going to ask her if she's okay, she responds, I know it looks funny, father, but I am fine. Please leave me alone, she says. She stops laughing, gets in her bed. With a smile on her face, you decide to leave her alone. You go back to your old chamber. You can't sleep. You feel something's wrong. So wrong. The door of your chamber opens. There is only one person who is allowed to enter without knocking on the king's door. So you understand that it's Juliana who entered, like you guessed. You see your daughter silhouette. She closes the door and approaches you with a smile on her face. Juliana? She leans down to you gently, pulls out her pillow that you don't use. Juliana's dead, she says, pushing the pillow on your face. You struggle, but whoever or whatever is trying to kill you is too strong. The king is dead, long live the king, she shouts. Why is your own daughter committing practical regicide and referring herself as a king rather than a queen? That doesn't make sense at all. This is the end of reign and life. The end. And I think I just done a whole end. I could use three other endings, but I think we'll just stop there, and I hope you enjoyed the video and hope to see you in next one.